Welcome to Stupid for Dexter!
Hey.
I'm Kat, and this is the fabulous Miss Mandy.
Hello.
And this is our kill room.
Yes, our kill room. Welcome.
Over here we have producer Mike.
Hi. Sorry, I was like, you can never introduce me that quick because we're technical stuff. Hi.
So sorry.
I'm not wearing a Henley today.
You're not
That's
wearing a
Broken
Henley.
tradition.
How dare you?
What does that mean? We'll have to find out.
Makes fun of me for things, and I've had enough.
Oh, well then.
It's hot in here, and I didn't feel like putting a Henley on.
That's okay.
Well, season 6, episode 2, very exciting stuff.
Once upon a time.
And in our show today, we have a very special guest, John Brotherton, who
That's
was
right.
yes,
You
he
might.
was the first kill of this season, and we have him here on Stupid for Dexter.
We revived him.
He was the
He's
jock.
back.
He was the jock.
Joe Walker. That's right.
He was every guy I hated in high school.
He was that
He was
guy.
nice as a regular person.
Yeah.
He was lovely.
But the acting, I didn't really like.
Well, that means he did a good job.
Good,
Right.
yeah.
Did it not? There we go.
Because I literally hid in my locker during that scene.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then I didn't go to school the next day.
Aww.
Well,
And somehow my lunch money was gone.
Aww.
Anyway.
Not much you
Anyway,
can do about that.
once upon a time.
yes, I felt like there was a lot of setting up. We had, let's see, setting the tone with Harrison and Dexter.
That was a huge theme this whole season, is definitely Dexter bringing up Harrison. That creeps me out. Him telling the stories, being the monster in the story.
Oh, yes.
And yet Harrison is starting to talk
Daddy's box.
at a very early age, might I say. But that's
Oh.
okay. I'll go with it.
Maybe he's a child genius.
But yeah, he's learning to talk and he's figuring things out. He's seeing things and he sees Daddy's box. So that's a whole theme this season, or this episode, excuse me, is you know, once upon a time, making it more of a fairy tale so that, you know, Harrison doesn't get the truth so quickly.
Exactly. It's a very interesting juxtaposition that they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. But shall we talk about some of the big highlights?
Sure,
going on?
but you know,
Oh, summary, yes. we should
no,
talk a little bit.
this episode in general, I think was that, you know, and then, well, I think we could cover most of it in a segment, wouldn't you say?
Shall we?
The segment we like to call
Killer Moments.
Yes, killer moments is when Kat and I talk about basically moments in the show that move things forward or that we seem to think are important or that we just simply liked. We
Big
just liked them.
moments. Enjoyable moments.
Which is a killer moment you liked?
All right. The one that I chose for number 1, the proposal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Quinn finally got up the nerve, proposed to Deb, and that didn't go too well.
Begged. Denied.
Denied, just as Dexter was hoping.
Yeah.
It was kind of sad because at one point in the episode she goes, oh yeah, his proposal, I need to answer him. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And now Quinn just, you know, he grieving, he got a little mad, said, you need to get out, and I'm going to be back in an hour, you better be gone.
Yeah.
And ran out the door.
Of course, the thing is you know, of course we're going to get to this in predictions, but what the heck is going to happen with Quinn? What's his storyline now?
He really seemed invested in it.
Yeah.
And it was sad because he was so invested and she was so not, especially with other things that happened in the episode that took her attention away.
That should be definitely another killer moment. Our second killer moment, Deb becomes lieutenant.
Promotion.
That's
right.
So this whole time LaGuarta's fighting for Batista, Batista, and, you know, Deb got it fair and square.
Two
She
killer
did.
moments down.
None of them have to do anything to do with Dexter.
That's true.
This was setting up a lot of stuff. This whole episode was kind of putting the dominoes up, I felt like.
Right.
Not a ton of action, couple character moments of growth or progression.
So Deb's getting lieutenant.
Yes.
I like that. I like the fact that that he got blackmailed and he's like, I'm still going to win in the end. I sort of like that. I sort of like the evil genius of
Oh, you're
that.
talking about the chief?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, oh, you're going to blackmail me, huh? Well, here's how it's going to work then.
Yeah.
You won last week. I now owe one overall. Don't F with me.
And now he's going to a new madam. Ha! That will show you
That doesn't have a black book on a little disk drive.
That's right.
Little thumb
And
drive.
I do honestly think that he thinks Deb should become lieutenant. I mean, I really think so. And you know, they've loved her dad, and
she does have a history. She's a very motivated cop. She's very good at what she does, and yeah, she kind of has the lineage, like you said.
This is what I'm nervous about. I don't want her to not swear as much. I hope she still swears.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I like when
like
they
that
announced
potty
her.
mouth.
When they announced her, and Elaine pointed this out, we all watched this together, by the way. We do, because we immediately come to this live.
We're a big family.
That every single person, their look was,
Yeah.
Oh no.
what? And I've seen those looks before, because you work at a job and somebody gets promoted and you're like, really?
That guy?
Yeah.
And that was everybody's look.
It's like
Yeah.
in Arrested Development. Her?
Well, I think Masuka's look was like, oh my gosh, this bitch is my boss.
Yeah.
I can't say shit now.
I can't say stuff about her ass, or yeah.
Well, he has a new ass to talk about. That's
true.
okay.
That's true.
And also, it was not Batista. And it sounds like so much had gone on to set that up for him, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
But he was so cool about it.
so cool.
Of course,
I
Batista.
know. We love him so much. He was a gentleman and a sweetheart.
He's planning something.
Not,
Probably not.
Probably not.
He's a big teddy bear, but
He's
that's
a-
why he got stepped on by his first wife.
Yeah.
And that's just his character of like, all right.
Yeah.
So lovely.
He'll have more to do with his sister, maybe. I'm getting into predictions. I'm sorry.
God, oh God, oh
I'm
God.
sorry. I
All
can't-
right, so we got two, and you got
Three,
another one?
number
We got three
Yes.
killer moments.
I
Okay.
definitely thought was the best scene in the
yes.
entire episode, and that's when, well, first of all, welcome Mos Def.
Oh, yes. Welcome.
Hallelujah.
Oh, amen.
Mos Def and Dexter are in that garage, and the badasses come in from the gang.
The gang guys pull up, and there's that imagery with Mos Def, Brother Sam with like the light behind him.
Yeah.
And it's the light from the car full of gangbangers.
But my favorite moment, the actual moment that I loved, is when they fought together. Mos Def and Dexter unite.
Yes! Oh, it was magical.
I loved it. It was better than Lumen.
Oh,
Now here's-
yeah.
I mean, here's how I'm seeing that this character hopefully evolves into Dexter was supposed to kill him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So Dexter mentions that, and obviously you go, oh, okay, you know, it's very foreshadowing.
Right.
Supposed to kill him, and now the question is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? Then they went through this whole thing where he thought he was a bad guy. Turns out he may be a good guy.
Right.
So what does now this do? Hopefully a really interesting subplot of Dexter now realizes, unlike Harry taught him, that maybe some people can be rehabilitated, and maybe Dexter starts doubting kills that he's made in the past.
There was
Maybe.
information in season 5 that Harry said, well, maybe you weren't really a psychopath. Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
I've been waiting for that
Dexter
to
doubting,
come back.
Dexter doubting who he was, but then now he knows who he is again. But now
Right.
we're seeing that maybe I didn't need to kill some people. Maybe I'm
Maybe.
wondering if that
Well,
didn't come
we'll
up at
see.
all in this episode, but will it?
I also think
Right.
this is a
Plant the
killer
seed.
moment because not only it's important because of that, and it's also important because I really think it's gonna force Dexter to really look into people more
Yes.
than, oh, this is a bad guy, kill. And he's gonna maybe look into religion. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
It also
Maybe.
sets up the whole religious thing of redemption,
Yeah.
right? Obviously.
Yes.
Do you have any more killer moments?
Those were our three. Did you have any that we?
No, I think bringing up the whole thing of, did you talk about the overall theme? You want the overall theme of the shepherd, right? Was that
Yes.
discussed?
We didn't yet,
Yeah.
but
So I was going to go from the
well,
killer moment. It's sort of related to that.
It is, the Mos Def.
That
Definitely.
every single character in this arc, in this story, it was a shepherd, right?
Right. We wanted to chat about that a little later, but yes, let's talk about that a little bit. So the idea of a good shepherd is a lot of religious imagery, the idea of Jesus with his flock, or, you know, a leader with his congregation or his church and leading them on the path of righteousness, or at least what they believe is righteousness. There was a lot of mentorship going on in this episode, and I'm guessing throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
So the Good Shepherd is something that Mos Def kept referring to.
And the name of his
company
company.
with a
And
big
the name of
cross
his company, that's
on
right.
the tow truck. Do we want to bring in our special
I would love
Dexpert?
to. We have a Dexpert. Speaking of Good Shepherd
Yes.
and religion, as you probably know by now, but if you're tuning in for the first time, Kat and I are huge fans of the show, and that's it. We're fans of Dexter.
That's about it.
We don't necessarily know so much about religion.
Nope.
We don't know behind the scenes. We just are simply fans.
Well, it's like
last season with we brought in a social worker
We had a
because
social
we had
worker.
Lumen, who obviously had some issues, and we wanted to explore those. We always
Sure.
try and bring an expert. This season is about, Mandy, you can explain a little bit more. There you go.
Our Dexpert this season, his name is David Sanders, and he is an expert in religious studies.
That's right. He is.
Sweet.
Oh, he's going to
We've
say.
got
Oh, we've got him.
Hey.
Hey, how are you, David?
Hi, David.
Hi, Kat. Hi, Mandy. How are you?
Welcome to Stupid for Dexter.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, David, just a little bit. What's your background regarding religion?
Well, I am a Cantor reader in the Orthodox Church in America. I have a master's degree. I've studied Christian apologetics. I've also studied courses with the Orthodox Seminary St. Tikhon's back in South Canaan, Pennsylvania. And I also have a degree in history, specializing in church history.
Wow.
I asked you before.
Christian apologetic, which sounds to me like sorry, which it's not. Explain that just a little bit, Christian, for people who don't know what that is.
Comes from the Greek word apologia, which means to make a defense for. And in the book of Peter, 2 Peter says to, for every man have an answer for the hope that lies within you. And basically is what we try to do in Christian apologetics, besides using the Bible, which of course is the main text for Christianity, to go outside the scriptures to show that, Christianity isn't just one of those take a leap of faith type of religions. Jesus of Nazareth was an actual historical person. We have Roman historians that prove that. We even have Josephus, a Jewish historian, who wrote about him. And they talk about his life. They even talk about him being crucified. And you also talk about a superstitious teaching about Christus in Palestine at this time. So we know that what was the superstitious teaching? Well, we know that they teach in Christianity that Jesus rose from the dead. So that was the thing that made Christianity really start to spread. There were, obviously there was something to this story about a resurrection. So besides just using the Bible, because anybody can say, well, believe the Bible because the Bible says it's true and I believe it and that's that. Apologetics goes outside of it and uses other proof texts to prove the validity of Christianity and the message of Jesus of Nazareth.
Wow.
Well, you are.
All right, you're an expert. Fine.
Done.
You pass.
Now, just before we go on, this is actually a new segment that we're going to call Sunday Schooled, correct?
Oh, yeah, let's
Ha
That's what I was trying to get at.
Here we go. Roll the segment title.
Sunday Schooled.
Because Jim worked hard on this. Jim was running TriCaster now. Look at that.
It's
Oh.
lovely.
Ooh.
Oh,
Come on, people, get it? Sunday
Jim, that is
School.
wonderful.
It took me a while to come up with that name.
I love it.
It's
10 seconds.
So, David, sorry about that. I just wanted to get that in there.
Thank you, Mandy.
Now,
I'm proud of that.
David, you're obviously a Dexter. Whoa.
whoa.
Someone's got mail.
Put that on silent, please.
So how long have you been watching Dexter from the
Yeah.
very beginning?
Well, to be honest with you, I was at my brother's house for a barbecue, and my niece says, "Oh, I got to make sure I watch Dexter tonight." And so, all these people left for Dexter, and I think it was this past summer, and what's Dexter? And they said, "Oh, serial killer that kills people." I go, "Oh, great," and she's also my goddaughter, and so I go home to Netflix, and I'm looking around, and go, see this picture of Michael Hall on Dexter, and I go, he doesn't look like a killer, so let me watch the first episode. I mean, I was hooked. After the first episode, and it was like I started watching them all. So I'm a high school teacher as my civilian job, and so I had the summer off, and it was like I was up to like 3 or 4 in the morning watching episode after episode. And then my wife was right next to me because I got her hooked.
Oh, no.
So it's like, now I got to get showtime because I watched all the episodes and I got my kids hooked. And matter of fact, I think my son's in Miami's watching this tonight because he goes, he's psyched about Dexter. And,
Right. That sounds familiar. I think we've all been through that.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this most deaf being the shepherd with the flock? What is your take on that, with knowing the religious, knowledge that you know?
Well, he's obviously Brother Sam is supposed to be caring for his flock. And, you have parables, Jesus' parables talking about what the shepherd will do for just one sheep. And so Brother Sam goes out and does that tonight, that the shepherd will go out and find just one sheep that has been lost because he cares for each of his sheep. And so that was the real interesting thing about it, that they actually showed him, Brother Sam, going out. And when you hear the gunshot, of course, I figured at that point that there was a gunshot that went off, but it wasn't Brother Sam. But when he was carrying the guy back, I said, there it is, because there's an actual icon in the Orthodox Church of Jesus carrying a lamb over his shoulders.
Oh.
So, I'm going, wow, who's ever writing this has got some good stuff that they're putting on here, because it's touching on a lot of things here that Christians believe.
Yeah, it's the imagery.
Oh my
How
gosh.
interesting. See, that's something we never would have known. I'm so glad.
That's why we have
Him here.
Yes, we love our Dexter.
Did you
That's
see
amazing.
anything else in the episode that struck you as, imagery that meant something, or was it just basically the shepherd was huge? I mean,
did any of you see the pregame show with Scott
Buck.
when he was talking about Dexter's journey?
Yeah,
He actually said that Dexter's on a journey now, and the whole show shows, it's already shown hypocrites, it shows nuts, and now if Brother Sam's genuine, it's showing a guy who's actually, has turned his life around. So you're seeing different aspects of what Jesus taught about, actually. He talks, that's actually the parable of the sower, when he talks about different seeds being planted and how some of them would grow to fruition and some of them would die and some of them would wither out. So you see this actually with the characters that they're showing on there right now.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Elaine, one of our she works on the show very hard, and we love her.
Yes,
and,
we do.
She's producing this whole thing.
She is producing the whole
right.
thing. She came up. Ooh. Okay. She
They're all
thought I broke
bobbling
the
now.
table.
The heads are bobbling.
She came up with when Edward James Olmos's character, I'm forgetting his name again, Professor Geller, with the whole Messiah complex when he put the burning.
Yeah, burning of the flesh
Yeah.
to punish Travis.
What do you think about that?
Well, in medieval history, in the medieval church in Europe, you had in the Roman Catholic Church, actually what they called it flagellation. So they used to beat themselves whenever they were, they thought they were sinning. Some people did things like burn themselves. You actually, in the early church, you had people actually emasculate themselves. Because there's a passage in the Bible. Jesus says some people become eunuchs for the kingdom's sake. Because these guys go, well, I'm going to be a eunuch, and
Wait a second. Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the church actually put a stop to that, but you had in the medieval church a lot of abuses, and even people guys wearing hair shirts underneath, so the friction and everything would keep them thinking, ouch, this hurts. I can't think about other, sinful things,
I know this is awful, but it makes me think of the opening to Holy Grail, Monty Python, where all the monks are walking, they smack themselves in the head. Sorry.
You're right.
Excellent example.
Are there any questions in the chat room?
Somebody asked, can Dexter go to heaven?
Can Dexter go to heaven?
I think Dead Pixel Live asked that.
Oh.
Is it possible for Dexter to go to heaven? What's your thought on that religiously?
Well, you have a lot of viewpoints out there in Christianity. You have the guys that are out there saying, you don't do this, you're going to hell, and I'm going to heaven because I'm saved, and this and that and the other thing. My particular tradition, the Orthodox Church, says, well, even people within our church, we know they're probably not going to go to heaven. We don't make that final decision. That's up to God. So nobody can read a man's heart, So who knows who's going and who's not going? They say that they say, well, if you get to heaven, you'll be surprised that you're there because you never thought you would make it. And you're going to look around and you're going to see people there that you didn't think would make it. And then you're going to look around for people you thought would be there, and they're not there. So is it possible for Dexter? Sure.
Wow.
Huh. Just like it's possible for Brother Sam to...
Exactly. And I think that's what they're trying to show. And I think this is the dilemma that Dexter's going to have.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
I agree.
I had another question, just real quick. I was wondering, David, I think it was Brother Sam who quoted Psalm 37:37. It was, I got the exact quote. Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. Is that about redemption? I wasn't sure.
Mark the perfect man and read the last passage again.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
The whole thing, please.
I will read the whole thing.
Okay.
Mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace.
Right. In other words, what he's saying is follow that person. Behold the upright. Look at those people as examples. And basically that's throughout the Psalms and Proverbs when they talk about different passages there. Especially here, blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked. So you hear passages like that as basically as an instruction for you. Look at, this is what you should be doing. And that is basically what he's trying to do. He's giving a little lesson to Dexter right there, actually.
We have a question from the chat room, the Ustream chat room. Dio Strio wants to know, have you noticed any other religious things going on, maybe regarding Deb or any other characters besides the obvious ones that that we can see clearly, that the writers are clearly pointing out? Are there little hidden gems anywhere that you've noticed at all yet?
Well, hidden things are like symbolic things. Like we were talking, when I talked to Kat this past week, like in the first episode, before Colin Hanks' character and Edward James Olmos' character, Travis and Dr.
Geller?
Yeah. Well, before they go out, right before it shows them go out and do their thing, in the swamps, you see a moon which is red. And that's a passage out of Joel and also out of Revelation. Joel in Acts talks about the day of the, the day of the Lord, the great and terrible day of the Lord. There'll be the blood red moon. And they basically start their thing right at that point. And then tonight, you hear Travis talking to his sister, who, by the way, if you heard Dr. Geller say that she's not saved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. She tells him, ever since those flock of birds were all died. I don't know if you remember, was it this past year where they had the 2 incidents where all of these birds they found dead in the South?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right, and that's just that right there showed me if that's what changed him. You got those people that's a sign from God, Instead of saying, first of all, let's look at the natural, what happened, nature-wise. People automatically read into things, and I think that's one of the problems that we have, that people reading into these signs and things like that and think, well, that's God telling me to do something.
Yes.
Wow.
That really seems like it's going to happen this season, that's for sure.
One more question for you before we let you go. Kakashi Prince in the Ustream chat room. We do this live, so feel free to join us live if you want. What does the Greek symbol actually mean in a religious perspective? I'm thinking they're talking about the Alpha Omega. And does it associate with these 7 snakes that were that they talked about last week?
No, actually, in the book of Revelations, you hear supposed to be the risen Christ speaking, saying, I am the Alpha and the Omega, comparing him to be the Son of God, meaning the first and the last. And so what it appears to be is how the writers are trying to introduce that these guys are following the book of Revelation. And of course you see a couple of things that they quote the book of Revelation also, but the Alpha and Omega is a definite sign of the beginning and the end. And that's what that symbolic, those Greek symbols are, the letters and the alphabet, the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last.
Really interesting.
Fascinating.
Well, David, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you on the show, and we will see you next week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, David.
And that was Sunday School!
Sunday School!
Oh, there it is. How can we not show that again?
It's beautiful. Jim, you did such a great job.
Oh, That was
That is
lovely.
awesome.
I'm so glad he's on the show because I don't know a lot about religion.
Me too. Yeah, we had a chat earlier on Skype before the show, and he was talking about the blood red moon and everything. Oh, it's
Very cool.
I would have never caught that in a million years. So, and just good insight.
Yes.
I'm so glad.
In other exciting news for
Yes.
Stupid for Dexter, we have another segment.
That's right.
That is right, and this segment is called Dexter in the News.
In the nude?
News.
Oh, news.
Jeez.
Oh, there it is.
That's right. That is also lovely.
Elaine is mad at me because she swears that I approve being called Dexter in the News, and I was like, "That's a terrible name." She goes, "You approved it." I go, "I don't remember approving that."
Approved it. You.
Dexter in the News.
Some other
Whoa,
time.
whoa, whoa.
This is our inside. People like to see the inside working.
Yeah,
Apparently
yeah.
there was IMs going on, but I was busy, and I don't remember calling it that. And there was a whole big.
Y'all gotta calm
It
down.
may be
kids.
called something else next week, is my point.
Right.
But for now, it's Dexter in the News.
Dexter in the News.
What's going on in the news, kids?
News.
All right, let's talk about some news.
I feel like we need
Well
a
then.
What's happening, Kat?
Indeed, Miss Mandy. Let's talk about some news. Well, there is a brand new game. Right now it's in beta mode, but it's awesome. It is called, get this, Slice of Life. It's a game. It's like a sim game where, you know, if you ever played Sims, like the original Sims.
I saw someone play it.
Okay, well, that counts. That's excellent. You are a little mini Dexter, and you have to go on a quest, and it is completely the first episode of season 6, so you can go around and, like, look in bushes for money and evidence and, like, interact. Like, I played a little bit, and I gained the janitor's trust, and I was able to get keys from him. It was great.
Is this going to be like the whole Facebook thing where like mafia? And
Yes, it is on Facebook.
Farmville,
It is a
this will be
Facebook
like
game.
Dexterville. It's awesome.
And Kat's into it because
I'm so into it. This is the best thing ever. Oh, hush you. We
No,
will
no,
play
I'm
it
sure
later.
it's great.
It's
I'm
so great.
I don't
Kat
mean
is the
to judge.
nerd.
I don't mean to judge.
Kat likes her gaming and her D&D and her Sims.
Well, cool.
The
So
Sims.
people should check this out then,
They
right?
should, and it was created by Echo Games. The lovely gentleman who created it, his name is Mark Fernandez, and thank you so much, Mark, because now I have something to be addicted to. It's gonna be lots of fun. I want to go play some more.
And the chat room wants to know if we are getting paid for this. It's an ad. No,
No,
we
it's
wish.
just
We would
awesome.
gladly. If somebody has anything Dexter and they like to pay us to talk about it, we will do it.
Well, yeah, and then
Otherwise,
yeah.
we do. I'll give a little ad. We do have a PayPal right now. If you want to donate to our PayPal, feel free to donate. We do take donations, keep the shows going because there is no money coming in to these shows. So please feel free to donate, and we put your name up on our wall. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
saying,
there's our ad. But
it's like a very
We'll put your
stabby
picture up. We'll put your
Zelda.
picture up in the back.
A very stabby Super Nintendo Zelda with Dexter.
I like
It's-
Zelda.
There you go. It's fabulous. We will play it later.
So there's
Excellent.
our Dexter. Oh wait, there's a couple of pictures.
Oh, and also
yeah,
we have a few
pictures.
graphics we want to show you. Oh my gosh, how adorable.
Aw.
You can be him or create your own.
You can be him or create your own
I'm
avatar.
going to
Oh,
create
look
my
at that.
own.
And now
And
I
this
think we have
is-
one of the
That's
last
the
ones.
is that the
Go ahead.
lab?
Send them
And then-
to the office.
And then there you go. You
kill
go,
room.
and then
Oh,
there he is killing the two
there's-
guys from the season 6, right?
That's
Those are
right.
those two ambulance guys.
Those were the ambulance guys. You have to kill them.
Wow.
There you go, Stan.
So great.
All right,
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait. But wait.
But wait a second.
Is that it?
I think so.
Hold on.
Wait, is that?
I don't think it's part of the game. That's not from the game.
Apparently, our next guest is in fact killed in the game, but we don't have that still.
We have to play it
See,
later
we were going
to
to do
get
it so cleverly. We're going to show his still, and then we're going to be like,
Let's see. Let's try this
Wait.
one. Is that it? No.
no.
So
That's a dual
ambulance
one. That's it.
No.
Is that it?
Oh, hey!
Oh,
That's
being
him?
Killed. There we go.
Oh,
All right.
Keep that, yes. So,
Yeah, I don't think you get any extra money for
ladies
that.
and gentlemen, on that still was the sim version
Yeah.
of John. That's your lingo. I don't know it.
oh, that was the simulated version.
Of John Brotherton,
That's right. He
or
played,
Joe the Jock,
Joe the Jock Walker.
who is going to be our guest on the show in just a moment after we take a look at this clip.
Check it out.
If you let me go, God will give you life everlasting and whatever you want.
Nah, there's really nothing I need.
You know, you don't want to. You don't want to make God mad
Don't you hear how foolish you sound?
because He will smite you with swords and rocks and thunder.
Thunder's just the noise. It would be lightning.
You cannot kill me, for God is a mighty fortress. No, please stop. And I have been washed in the blood of the Lamb, and He will protect me.
Sorry. Hammer time.
Woo!
Here he is, John Brotherton.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you were Joe Walker.
I was.
The jock.
Yes.
Tell us about that. How did the Dexter Joe Walker come to
I want to ask
happen?
one thing quick. Was that just weird to watch yourself get killed? Because we're watching it here.
Yeah, no, I've seen it a few times now. So being on the kill table has always been, since I fell in love with the show, like one of those things in the back of your head as an actor. You're like, God, that'd be so great to actually get to do that. So when I got the call, it was one of those like, really? No way. Like I get to actually experience what I've wanted to experience. It's one of those weird things that,
Does
comes
anybody
true,
in
so.
your, I'm sorry guys, I always want to know this.
No,
Does
go.
anybody in your like family, your friends watching that go, I can't watch it because you were just killed, like your mom, or is it a weird thing?
I think it's a mix because they were obviously so excited, but yeah, there's a moment of like cringe, but they were so thrilled with the moment in general.
No,
Very
that's
cool.
nice to have support.
And I guess how did you get the role?
The crazy thing is I was working on another movie, and it was one of those auditions where my agent was like, just going in on it anyways because this is just such a great role. And so usually it'd be a moment of me like hanging on, like that's something I want. But I was working, so it's like I went in, kind of did it, and then I went back to work. And it wasn't until they made the call that I all of a sudden was like, technically I was unemployable because I was working on a job. But that director and the producers were like, well, you've got to do this as well. So they made it work and they changed the shooting schedule.
Wow.
So
Nice.
maybe it was to my advantage that at the time I was working, so I kind of just went in and did it and left without, really thinking about it too much, which sometimes as an actor can become a block. So when I realized it was a done deal, it was like, it was a definite bucket list moment
That is
for
so
an actor.
cool.
Yeah.
Very
it's
cool. And maybe your nerves weren't as major
Yeah,
as they could have been.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, because it was like literally going from work, going to the audition, then going back to work, and kind of thinking nothing of it. So.
Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
It's crazy. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Is it funny that did you hear about Slice of Life, the game that's on Facebook?
I had seen stills of it, but I had like not really experienced what it was, and then actually seeing it up there, I'm definitely gonna look into it. I'm
You're
excited.
in it.
Yeah. So.
You look wonderful too.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna investigate. I might sign up for sure.
So let's see. So we know somebody who you know who's also on Dexter this season, a Mr. Mark Gant.
Yes. Yeah. That's who introduced me to all of you.
Yay, Mark.
Woo! That's right.
Yeah, we did a movie together. We'll call it a movie. A few years back. And so we've always stayed in touch randomly. You touch base on Facebook, or we'll see each other passing an audition and just be like, let's catch up. But you always kind of catch up in that moment. And
Right.
Then, but I have the utmost respect for him, man. He's kicking ass and really doing well.
Well,
Were
both
you-
of you are.
Were you two able to talk about your experiences on Dexter?
Well, at the time, no. He had posted something on Facebook about being on Dexter, and so I sort of replied and was like, "Congrats!" And that kind of sparked us. So because we'd worked together in the past, and now we have this in common, and so
Yeah.
it's one of those things. So
And
I
you
don't.
said, oh, go ahead.
No,
sorry.
I don't know what he's doing on the show. I'm excited to see.
Oh, that's right, because it hasn't aired.
Yeah. The
We
trailer
will not
kind of-
know till he's on our show.
That's right.
That night of his appearance, he'll be on.
So
Very cool. Did you, but off the set, did you find that you guys had similar experiences? Are you still not able to talk?
no, I haven't. I have no idea what his
Oh, no,
experience was.
no.
Yeah. My spot was kind of blown up. There was nothing to hide because they put the fact that I was dying in the trailer, so everyone knew there. It's not like I could go out there and be like, no, I don't die, because, I had a sledgehammer to my head in the trailer. So it was sort of, after that, everyone kind of knew what my character was about. But I have really no idea at all and I asked him, and he said, can't say. So.
All right, let's
Yeah.
fair.
So what was-
questions in the chat room?
Yeah.
I was going to have a question in the chat room. Midbury Crunch, do you actually have a Jesus tattoo?
No.
And how long does that take to put on?
That was about an hour. It was about an hour and a half, maybe close to 2 hours in the chair. But then the funny thing was, And this is the magic of movie making. Having the saran wrap on for so long, once they took the saran wrap right before they shoot it, they realized that as hard as they tried to keep it on there, most of it came off with the saran wrap when he cut it open. So then you have the genius makeup crew come back in and reapply it within 5 minutes and make it look fantastic. And so, yeah, it's crazy because you spend 2 hours in the chair and then really it's that 5 minutes that they came in and, but the cast and crew, I mean, were so cool and everyone was just so great. They treat you so well, and when you're on the table, they're so considerate. They relieve your pressure points between all the takes and make sure you have water, and they remind you don't drink too much before you get on there, but make sure you're hydrated. It's like this.
How long are you on that? I mean, how long are you on that table after wrapping you up? And you're
I was on the kill table for 5 hours. Total.
Wow.
I think the record they said is like 8 or something. The woman in the bed from I forget which season. But
that was a while ago.
Fortunately we had lunch in the middle, so I got a break. But I mean, it is what it is. You are naked on a saran wrap to a kid. You can't move.
So you are naked. You
I mean, I have like a little peach Speedo thing that they, I mean, then they wrap your midsection so you can walk in front of the 40 crew members and not feel too weird. And then they saran wrap your arms to your body. And then you have 2 guys that lift you up, put you on the table, and then they, I mean, we're talking real saran wrap. This isn't like, they have those big rolls, and you sit there, and you're not moving. I mean, it is what it is.
And you don't want that to be pressing on your bladder.
No, but the thing is, the cool thing as an actor is that it's real. It's not like you're laying on some cushy thing and you could pop up at any moment. I mean, this truly is, you are locked down, which helps so much,
Do you think, did Michael C. Hall... am I on it? Michael C. Hall, did you notice a change in him from when you were acting with him, like during the reunion, to when he gets in that kill room? Is it like, does he get method, or how does he approach that?
Oh, you mean off camera, just in general?
Well, I mean, like once you get in that kill room.
Well,
let's say when he's not Dexter, when he's before the cameras roll. Is he preparing, or did you notice anything?
His preparation, I don't know, but there's definitely a difference, and I think maybe I'm more aware of it because I know the show. But yeah, I mean, when you work with them, say in the reunion scene, I mean, he's a guy, he's just a guy's guy, whatever, and kind of flies below the radar. And then sure enough, I mean, I definitely had a moment as a fan of the show, like you're on the table, and usually when you work as an actor, you can have you in the off your peripheral is the cameras and the crew and whatever, but on the kill table, all I could see is like this light over my head, so I wasn't aware of anyone else, and it'd be like his little beady eyes would like come in, and like and it was such like a real moment, and so I definitely had a little moment with myself saying, it was Dexter.
That's what I was wondering.
You know what I mean?
I'll be honest, Kat and Mandy would both love to be on the show, and it's gonna happen, both of you, but they're gonna laugh when they're on the kill table. I just know it. And they're like, cut.
Yeah,
it's the beginning of our show, but I think they would actually do that.
It becomes very eerie, and I think I did have the moment as a fan, but I mean, it is, like I said, it is what it is. You're locked down to a table, and you are, you're not going anywhere, and the circumstances are what they are. So there's a sense of reality because you can't see the camera, and you don't see. I mean, sure, there's shots where they put your POV or whatever, but for the most part, it is what it is. I'm waiting for him to come back into my vision.
Right, you don't know where he's going to be.
He's at. I can hear him picking up tools and I mean, it really is what it is, which is fun.
Did you have any nightmares because of that?
I mean, no.
Because to me, it sounds like an MRI. Like you get into the MRI machine, I know the doctor's there, but this is just too freaky.
I mean, in a way, I mean, I've never done that, but I can imagine it's similar because even in the same sense that between takes, you're being told what to do, but I'm on the table being told what to do from someone in another room, or you're communicating, which I would imagine is the same sort of thing. But it's pretty. It was cool.
Some actors have the costumes that help them so much. You not only had you were bare, but you were on this table and you had this face. I mean, that must have been awesome
as an actor, it's funny because I was saying this to someone the other day. Like, if you told me that I had to sit in a chair for 2 hours while someone drew on me, and then I'd lay on a table for 5 hours and couldn't move, it'd sound like the worst day of my life. But it was one of the best days of my life. So it is. I mean, it was very cool, very cool.
That is awesome. So speaking of the filming day, I was just wondering if you could just tell us more about working with Michael C. Hall and working with the Dexter crew? You said that they were awesome, but
yeah, everyone
anything
was.
else?
I mean, one of the coolest environments I've worked on. I mean, I think it goes, unsaid. They're probably, it helps that they're on season 6 and they're successful, so everyone wants to be there.
Sure.
But everyone's friends and laid back, but yet professional. So it's a freeing environment, but you're being taken care of, and it was great. And Michael couldn't have been more humble and gracious and down to earth, and I mean, giving as an actor. Because it's an interesting thing when you work with him when he's Dexter on the street. You're the one kind of the dominant character, and he kind of receives, and then it switches obviously in the kill room. But he is, he's not one to try to outshine anyone, even though that's what he does naturally. But he's there to help. He's there. He always has artistic input. I watched him a lot because he's an executive producer, but he goes behind the camera and he has a lot of input as far as what's going on. And suggestions and with the director, and it was just it was cool to see because he's definitely someone to look up to.
Sure.
And you come from soap opera world, right?
Yeah, I would say that's what got my got the ball really rolling. I spent a few years in New York on One Life to Live, which was awesome. I did 297 episodes, so it was like
Wow.
boot camp.
Yeah, as
like,
Jared Banks.
as Jared Banks.
Apparently, Elaine over here, her mom's favorite character.
Oh,
She almost flew out here from Philly.
Yes.
well,
Lovely.
tell her Jared says hi.
I will.
Yeah, no, I mean, being on a soap was awesome because it was total boot camp. I mean, you go through the ringer, and it's you meet great people, and everyone has to be on their A game because you move at the speed of light, and so it was some of the greatest years of my life. I met some of my dearest friends that I know I'll have forever. Yeah, it was awesome, and it definitely opened doors. When I came back to LA, it was a totally different ball game.
Oh, so you were here,
I was
and then
I was here for 4 years. Like I was the classic case. Like drove my car with nowhere to live. Like showed up in LA. Like what do I do now?
Right.
That right out of college kind of like just fresh and eager, and I look back and it like freaks me out to think that I actually did that. And then it was like a few years of bopping around in commercials and whatever could find a way to pay the bills, and then I did that, moved to New York for 3 years, and I came back last February.
Oh my gosh.
So, not 2011, but last 2010. So I've been back like a year and a half.
That's so cool.
So, but yeah, thank God for the soap because it definitely changed things.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good
Yeah.
for you. That's awesome.
Here's a good question. Kakashi Prince again from the Ustream wants to know when Michael C. Hall cuts their cheek. How does that special effect work?
Yeah, I couldn't wait to find out myself. They have. I hope I'm not like blowing up their.
Are you allowed to? Would you? Let's before you answer that. Do you have to sign non-disclosure? And is your non-disclosure
not for that. So.
It's more like you can't talk about it till it airs. Is that sort of what?
Yeah,
they
I
tell
think
you?
that's. During the audition, they had like scenes blanked out, but
Right.
beyond that, it wasn't as secretive as some other things that I've done, which I thought it would probably be more. But it really is what it is. They have two different knives, one a left and one a right, and underneath they have like a little syringe pin that lets blood out as he goes. I mean, he has a thing in his hand and it releases it. And they only do it for that shot. Otherwise, in every other scene, he's got a real one, well, a fake real one that they just cut but leave it, and then they, at the very end, they do the blood,
Right.
and then insert it.
Can I be a dork right now?
Yeah,
Please.
Okay, I'm gonna be a dork right now.
Do it.
I worked at Universal Studios. Special effects is a little ride you can go on if you're ever in LA or Orlando, and they show you one of those knives.
Oh, cool. Okay, so now I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the things I was excited to find out.
Pretty
behind the
cool.
scenes, yeah.
So what's do you have anything in the future that are you working on anything now, or?
Tuesday, I'm working on CSI. I get
Very
killed on
cool.
CSI again.
Oh.
Congratulations!
Yeah. Someone's out to get me.
Oh God.
I get my teeth bashed in and my forehead dented in, so that was fun. I went and got a mold the other day for that. And I just wrapped 2 movies that I'm really excited about. One called True Love, and one, well, it's Untitled Mike Ott Project. It was Teenage Wasteland, but we don't know if that's going to be the final title.
Okay.
Very cool though.
That was a
Yeah.
Dexter episode.
It was.
Wasn't it?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Teenage Waste.
I
Oh.
think so, last season.
That was the one where the daughter was acting all up and
Yeah.
sassing.
Crazy. It's
So-
all
Yeah, no.
tied.
Comes together.
Two really good movies. One, Slice of Life, the Mike Ott project is total slice of life, kind of depressing small town, but has the feel-good ending. And then True Love is this psychological thriller, which we actually shot in Milan, Italy, which was amazing.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. So I worked with Ellen Holman, who's the new sort of badass on Spartacus, the show on cable. And then Jay Harrington from Better Off Ted, that series that was on a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So great people and these Italian filmmakers that are sort of blowing up at the moment. They just signed a big deal with Fox, so it was really an incredible movie. So we'll see. It's coming out. It should be finished any day now. So
Very cool. Congratulations.
thank you.
So
Thank
great.
you.
Yay!
Couple more. Oh, go ahead.
I was
Just a
going to
couple
ask
questions.
because Jim, who helps on our show, and I was wondering, with all this action that you do you have a stunt person, or do you like that choke hold? What's it called? What's it?
Sleeper
hold. The sleeper hold.
No, at this point, going back to the soap being boot camp, I got punched or choked or kicked or we went over a table. Like at this point, I feel like I've done a lot of that, and so it was just another sort of day. They have a stunt guy that comes up to you and says, "Are you comfortable with this? What kind of are you comfortable? What are you not comfortable with?" And we kind of walk through it once or twice, and they go from there. So
Okay.
it's sort of a trust thing that he's not really going to choke me, and that it's more about me hanging on to him, and then as we go, it just kind of looks like a struggle, and so, but yeah.
There
That
you
was
go.
quite a fight that Joe Walker put up.
Yeah.
I tried.
Couple more questions, chat room. Daytona Tracy, do you like the fast pace of soaps or the slow pace of regular TV?
I mean, that's a tough one because I had such a great time on the soap, but now that I'm done with it, the work that you can do with more time is just better. I definitely enjoy TV or film more, which is hard to say because I had such a great time. But I think part of the reason I had such a great time is the people and the experience. And now it's time to do other.
The craft service, which one's better? Craft service, for those in the industry, that's the food you get and the snacks. Best snacks you've had on a set. Which
Well, definitely not a soap because it's a different environment, being that we shoot year round. So there's not the big setup like you do when you go to a set on like a TV, like a primetime show.
Right.
So that's not even. There's on a soap. There's like coffee and donuts, and like otherwise at lunch you can go take care of yourself. It's way more.
So it's reality TV.
It's way
what
more
reality
blue
TV is,
collar,
too. Yeah.
and which is cool though because it's everyone's sort of on the same page. The cast and crew. It's like you're working at the speed of light, so everyone's just friends, and there's not this separation, and it's not like Fantasyland. It's like you're grinding out this thing day after day. You're shooting close to 100 pages a day. There's no time to like slow down. So it's much more like clocking in the old-fashioned style.
Right.
Wow.
So.
And it was
Yeah.
was there a place that had the best craft service?
Is this your question or
These
is it
are
the
important to
chat room?
know. These are important things. People want to know inside information.
Dexter was pretty darn good, actually.
Ooh.
I just worked recently on Free Agents on NBC, and I remember that being really good. The thing that was cool about Dexter, though, there was constantly someone walking around with like a tray of
Oh,
like,
that's crazy, yeah.
even if it's like PB&Js, but in the moment, that's like so cool.
Yeah.
Like between takes, they're just like, do you need something? It's just like that little extra that you're like, this is awesome.
See, that's all. See, I remember when I
Yeah.
work on different shows. My favorite show was a show we did called Strip Poker that we had omelets made for us every morning. And then
Yeah.
and I don't remember. You don't remember, like, was it a good show? I don't know, but they made omelets.
Right? No, totally.
You do remember that as an actor, as a
That's what you
producer, as a writer. You
remember.
remember
I
what
love-
shows feed you well.
That's true.
Absolutely, I know, and we went on location for all the football stuff, and that's always great because there's such a production of the food, which is always fun. So
Man,
yeah,
a peanut butter and jelly butler.
yeah, no, it pretty much was. But they had like ham and cheese, and they had like all these little bite-sized sandwiches, which was awesome.
Well, John, thank you so much for coming.
My
on the
pleasure.
Is
show.
there, do you have
Yeah.
a fan page, a website, anywhere you want us to?
I'm
people
not
come
really good at
see your
that kind of stuff. I hate to say that.
Not into the social networking and all that fun Twitter and.
I'm always like a step behind. I'm sure one day people keep telling me like you got to do
Yeah.
this, you got to do this, and I'm sure it'll catch up to me.
We will
But,
just look for you for your
yeah,
next project.
Yeah. CSI is coming out soon, and I do want to say hi to my sister Bray, who's the most amazing big sister in this entire
So I think
planet.
congratulate you on our Facebook page, right?
I think she did. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wrote
She
on,
did. It was so sweet.
Facebook.com, Stupid for Dexter.
She was the first call that when I booked the show booked Dexter because I knew she was a fan of the show and it was such an exciting moment for both of us. So
That is so
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm sure it was.
it was
I can
very
just
cool.
imagine that.
It's fun to share that stuff with the people you love, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You again.
I love it.
Really
My pleasure.
appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, folks. Well, that's our episode.
That's a show. That's
That is
Stupid
the
for
show.
Dexter.
So thank you so much, folks, for tuning in. And as you know, starting tomorrow probably, we'll be on iTunes, YouTube,
Roku.
Yeah,
Roku.
and it's very important you go to our Facebook page, like
Yes.
us, Stupid for Dexter, and share our videos with all your friends. We have stupidfordexter.com, which will enable you to go in and share and comment. And we want to, as we said last week, we want to get, talk to us, start to get a conversation going. Let's have a conversation with all the Dexter fans. Make this the place to go for Dexter fans, which we already have. We want to keep that going. So let all your Dexter friends and fans know, and feel free if you want to also donate to our PayPal. We'd appreciate that as well. But the important thing is, what you can do is really just share our videos. So there you go.
Share our videos.
Thank you so much. We'll be back next Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the internets. Thank you so much. Bye. Woo, woo, woo.